Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 3. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. Taylor and Chance. So Chance has been out for 2 hours or less, and he's given us that same song and dance that most prisoners give when they're out of jail. They want to do right. Taylor has given him everything in life that he needs, and he's going to get out and do the right thing and stay out of jail and be a good man to her. I said, yeah, right. I give it a good week before he's already doing something that he has no business doing and trying his best to control her every move. Before they even get to the house, he's asking her questions about her twin sister. Does she have a job? Since I'm going to be living here, she needs to pitch in and help out. This is my house now as well, and I have some say in what's going on. The truth is, you haven't paid one bill yet. You don't even know what the house looks like. You have no say here. You don't have a job. You don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You have absolutely no right to try to say anything about her sister. So when they get to the house, all of a sudden he's telling her sister that, I don't want to split up the family. I want to keep us together. I said, give me a break. You just 2 seconds ago, you were in the car talking about how she needs to pull her weight. Her sister, Bobby, lets him know that she's heard some things. She is absolutely aware that he said that he was going to try to move her out to the garage, and that she has been to prison as well, so she knows the game and she will be watching him. Him, on the other hand, he wants to get rid of Bobby because he says there's things that he wants to do that he won't be able to do. And I said, what things? Like isolate her from everybody that she knows? Take complete control over her. She is so gullible. I mean, he totally just wants to be able to take control. He wants to be able to have her do everything he says and be in charge of everything that goes on in that house. And as long as her sister is there, she's stopping him from doing that. But I tell you one thing that upset me quite a bit. It actually almost brought me to tears, was seeing the connection that he has with her daughters. That really upset me. This man is no good for you or for those little girls, and you are setting them up to be hurt by this guy. She should not have brought this man into her children's life. And then she makes the comment later on in the episode that he has a prison mentality. Yes, you're right. He does have a prison mentality, and you just brought him in to live with your small children. I don't think that's appropriate. And when he found out that his license was about to be suspended due to some sort of infractions that happened in 2018 while he was in jail, he got quite a bit of an attitude with her over his situation. Instead of just saying, why don't we go up to the BMV? I can prove to them that I was in jail and these are not my tickets, and get this straightened out. I mean, she's already given you somewhere to live. She's already given you a cell phone. She's feeding you. She's clothing you. And she got you this job. Show a little respect. I don't like him, and I don't like how gullible she is. And if she lets this man come between her and her sister, she is a bigger idiot than I thought. Rick and Radine. Honey, now listen, Radine is out of jail and living at the halfway house. She's been at the halfway house for about 2 months, and they are going to let her have a furlough for 48 hours to go spend Thanksgiving with her family. Rick is so excited. He is on his way to the halfway house to pick her up, to take her over to her father's house to spend Thanksgiving. He picks her up and he's hugging and feeling and touching and tries to go in for a little tongue action, and she says, oh, I don't like that. And I said, you know what? Both of them could use a trip to the dentist and the orthodontist right away. I don't like any of that action either. Anyway, they get in the car to go over to her father's house, and she informs him that she has a girlfriend, a lady named Kay. And he thinks that as long as she spends some time with him and as long as he's her number one, he'll be able to convince her to get rid of Kay. She lets him know that Kay is going absolutely nowhere. Honey, listen, Rick was not ready for that. But what was really crazy was when they get over to her family's house, I was really touched. When they saw her, it was for the first time in 5 years, and they were hugging. I mean, her dad was holding on so tight. Her stepmom was crying. Her brother was so excited to see her. I did get quite emotional about that. But one thing that I thought was interesting is her stepmom is super cool. She told her that she was staying the night over at Rick's house because they were going to have the sex. And I was thinking to myself, you don't want his tongue in your mouth, but you all right with having the sex with him? Anyway, she was saying that she was also going to keep Kay. And her mom said, well, how are they going to handle it? You know, is Kay going to be okay with Rick? Is Rick going to be okay with Kay? And she says, well, they're going to have to be. But what really blew Rick's mind was when he found out that her whole family knew about Kay. She ends up taking a video call from Kay, and her father was happy to see Kay, told her how pretty she was, and she was calling Ray Dean's daddy Dad. Rick was completely pissed off and surprised. He had no clue about Kay until that day, and everybody else knew. My thing is this, I don't think she really wants to be bothered with Rick. I think Rick was an absolute trick. You know, he's buying her things, he's putting money on her books, she's able to talk to him on a regular basis. I think that she's going to find somebody else, and Rick is going to be still sitting at his house with his roommate Ramona. Kevin and Tiffany. Now, honey, listen, I'm excited here. Kevin thought that he was a player, honey. He was going to have Tiffany. He was going to have Kayla. He was just out here dating people. I think that one girl he went on a date with the first episode, her name was Lindsay. Well, listen. Tiffany calls him and says that she did get in trouble and she wasn't able to get out of jail when he came to pick her up because she was busted having the sex with her girlfriend. And Kevin said he didn't know that she was into women like that. And he had no idea if she was into women just for the stay or if she was into women in her real life. She lets him know that she is going to be going to the halfway house. And when she gets out of the halfway house, he wanted to know if he could come pick her up. Honey, listen, she did a whole bunch of hemming and hawing and jumping around talking about there's so much going on. I'm so stressed out right now. I just really don't know. I said, oh, please, girl, just go ahead and tell Tiny Tim that you have decided that some other man is going to be picking you up. She told him she'd call her back. She hung up before he could even say goodbye. Then the next thing we find out that the guy that's going to be picking her up from the halfway house is a guy named Curtis. And Curtis has known her since high school, and I guess she was one of the popular girls in high school, and he has always been trying to catch her, but it just didn't happen. Well, she reached out to him on the Facebook. They do a lot of stuff on the Facebook, this particular group of people. Anyway, she reached out to him on Facebook, and she wants him to pick her up. She wants to spend time with him and see how that works out. Current day, in real time, Curtis is in jail. Now, I seen online that, I'm going to say alleged, but I seen online that he was arrested for aggravated assault and booked into jail on March the 9th. And his bond is $50,000. Honey, I don't know what is going on. I can just tell you that Curtis has a record. He's been arrested multiple times. We see that Curtis is excited about picking her up from the halfway house, but Kevin is also going to show up at the halfway house because he wants to find out what she's up to. He says that he does not want to be played. He is not about to let this happen. Well, personally, I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You're getting a little taste of your own medicine. Okay? I cannot wait. And did anybody notice that they look alike? And when they showed the previews from next week, they seem to be about the same height as well. So it looks like Tiffany has a type. I did see online Tiffany and Kevin have been posting a lot of pictures together. So I guess they might be together current time. But I also seen Kayla in the comments. So she's still around. I don't know. Kayla is not going to let go of Kevin. Indy and Harry. So they head back to Harry's sister's house, and Indy ends up automatically apologizing for the situation and asking if she's still okay to stay there. And I thought, I appreciate that Indy did that, but that is definitely something that Harry should have started. He should have come in there and apologized to his sister. This boy is still 17. They may say that he's 23 or 24, but mentally he is still 17. He was not able to sit down and have a full conversation with his sister and apologize for his behavior and accept her gracious offer of allowing him, his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's daughter to stay at her home. He just was not able to do it. He says that he believes that they should have done everything they could to make him comfortable, considering that he just got out of jail. Well, my thing is this: nobody has to do anything for you. Nobody has to do anything for you. Your sister is being very kind to allow you to stay there. You should be going out of your way to make sure that she feels comfortable allowing your strange girlfriend, her beautiful little girl, and your jailbird butt move into her house. I really like his sister. His sister is not one to mix words. She comes right out and she lets you know exactly what she feels and what's going on in her house. She tells him, you're here because you need to be. You're not here because I need you here. And that's absolutely true. She has been able to make a way for her and her child all by herself while you were in jail. You are there because you need her help, not the other way around. I think that he really needs to learn how to be respectful and how to humble himself a little bit. She let him know the rules of her house. She said, you will be respectful, you will get a job, and you will come home by 10 o'clock. And Indy will get a job as well. Those are her rules. Respect it. Otherwise, you can go. I would give him one opportunity. If he breaks my rules, I would be back on the phone with the probation officer, letting them know that you need to parole him somewhere else because he can't stay here. Him and his pen pal have got to go. He does make this comment talking about his circumstances might have him doing things to risk his freedom again. Dude, you have not been out of jail for a full day yet, and you're already thinking about breaking the law? How about thinking about applying for a job? So then Indy drops him off over at one of his friends' house, Johnny. Johnny was his bunkmate from the halfway house. She gives him 3 or 4 warnings before she leaves. Be on your best behavior. Be careful. Don't do anything. Girl, go somewhere. If you have to go through all of those theatrics, it's just not worth it. He's over at his friend's house. He is taking a Remy to the head. I said, oh my gosh, that's not a bottle of water. Anyway, he's telling his friend, he says that he's just not ready. He says that she wants to get married like next week. And he says, her daughter calls me Poppy Daddy. And I said, you know what, boy, that little girl's been calling you Poppy Daddy for a very long time. And they should have put a stop to that a long time ago. He says that he's not ready to be a father and a husband. He cannot give her stability, a house. He doesn't even have a job. He has never even thought that he would live that long. And then he admits to talking to other women while he was at the halfway house. He said, of course, she found out about the pictures and everything, but she has no idea that he actually had the sex with somebody. And he also wanted to know, after she found all the pictures and everything, why does she still with him? Why does she still want to marry him? Why is she still around? You know what? I'm thinking that she's still around because she believes in the fairy tale, and because she is desperate for his love and affection. And clearly this guy is not ready. You know, according to him, in some of his social media activities and in his activities and talking to others, current day, they are not together. But according to all of her social media and interviews that she's doing, they are together. So I don't have a clue what's going on with them. I don't know if maybe he's sticking to the truth and she's sticking to a storyline or vice versa. I have no idea, but I am hoping that she will wise up sooner than later, pack up her things and her baby, and go back home to Maryland. Lacey and Antoine. Now, Lacey meets up with Antoine's mom, Christy, and Christy is already 3 sheets to the wind. Now, Lacey has already told us that his mom has a drinking problem and she drinks too much. Listen, the woman was drinking straight vodka shots with a slice of lemon. Now, honey, you know you are serious about your drinks when you are throwing back straight vodka shots and chasing it with a little water. Now, listen, Christy might have been drunk, but I have always believed that a drunk mind gives you sober thoughts. She tells Lacey that she wouldn't trust her son any further than she can throw him, and that he is an absolute monster out in the streets. She called him a bitch ass. And I said, now wait a minute, honey. If this woman is his mom and she's telling you that he's a lying monster and he's a bitch ass and that he only brings trouble, I would listen. I really would. She tells Lacey that she is delusional and extremely gullible, and Lacey gets all pissed off and tells her, you can't talk to me like this. And she, storms out. The thing about it is, Lacey, you are a grown woman with a good job and a home. You need to snap out of it. This young man, if his mom said that he is a monster, I believe he is a monster. Good luck to you, girl. Kayla and Martell. Martell is out of jail and he's been out for about 10 hours, I think. She has given him a cell phone and his cell phone is ringing off the hook. Let me tell you something. He is getting calls from all his homies, and I also believe he's getting calls from his home girls, his around the way girls from 13 years ago. And Kayla's in the car trying to get a little attention and time, asking him to play some kind of rating system with her. How does he rate them white shoes she was wearing, 1 to 10? Honey, he wasn't able to rate those shoes or that outfit or the weave, none of that stuff, because his phone was ringing off the hook. Then she's going to tell him that she wants to put one of those location apps on the phone so she can see where he is at all times and he can see where she is at all times. I said, girl, when you purchased the phone, you should have uploaded that app before you gave it to him. That's how you do it if you want to be secret. He's not tech savvy. He been in the jail for 13 years. But no, she's going to ask him about it, and he says no, he does not want to be tracked. And she gets an attitude. I said, girl, who you should be mad with is yourself for waiting on this dude for 13 years who just got out of jail, and he is absolutely about to play you for the fool. I'm just saying, Kayla, you are in for a world of heartache. I don't trust Martell. I'm just saying. Anyway, you guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.